I could be mad. I could be angry. I could start right now and yell into this microphone and at that camera for 30 minutes. But the Pittsburgh Steelers clearly don't care about football. So why should I care about the team that I've devoted my fandom to for the last 24 years on this planet? I know this is going to come across so horrible for like non-Steelers fans, and especially for people who are fans of like the Giants right now, or the Panthers, or the Bears, or the Jets, like teams that haven't made the playoffs in a long time. Here's the situation. I would rather not make the playoffs, know where I stand in the league, whether it be draft order, what is to come for the next year, than be forced to watch. This is now 5 consecutive playoff games. Pittsburgh has had their shit rocked. We lost by 2 touchdowns. There was a point where we were down by 21 points. There was 2 different separate occasions. This was not a competitive game. I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks, Pittsburgh is not going to be competitive in the playoffs. I'm a 24-year-old who has no more experience than middle school football, and I know what this team is. That's pathetic that I can predict what this team is. And so, like, yeah, it's probably really annoying being a fan of a team that's in a real shit situation right now. But you know what? Panthers, Bryce Young looks great. Ever since being benched, you have some hope there. You have a top 10 pick right now. Now you can add to this team, but you have spots that you have that are bright. Giants, you have Malik Neighbors. You have Dexter Lawrence. You have a pick that could be a quarterback, and if not, next year will be a quarterback. Or maybe you get something in free agency, but you have something. You have a high draft pick. Tennessee, you are probably going to get your pick of whatever you want, most likely Cam Ward. You have a shiny new toy for next year. Cleveland just lost Deshaun Watson, so like they're not a great example having the 2nd overall pick. But, you know, there are teams I know that fans would kill. Oh, they complain all the time. This is not an above 500 team. This is not a playoff team. I had to sit there, and the reason we're tired as Steelers fans is because, cool, I know I'm going to be 10 years without a playoff win. It was 9. 2016. That was the last time. The next playoffs won't be until 2026. So it'll be 10 years since Pittsburgh has won a playoff game. I was a junior in high school. Like, this shit is pathetic, man. And you know what's so funny? Is if you go back and watch my other recaps, the first 6, even when the games were close, or even when we lost, I was enjoying the games. I was enjoying the product. But as the season came to an end, I realized, Tomlin got his 500 record. We're phoning this shit in from now on. I'm not going to talk too much about the future of the Steelers because I've been planning a 2024 Steelers retrospective video that'll come out in the next couple of weeks, hopefully next week or the week after. So I'm not going to talk too much about the future here because I'll do a lot of it there, recapping the season and talking about the future. But I've been saying all season, I'm not in the fire Tomlin camp. And I expected Pittsburgh to lose this game. But not like that. I thought it was ridiculous to even bolster the idea of trading Mike Tomlin. I don't think it's crazy anymore. I love the man. Mike Tomlin, the person. But, I mean, I put this in my notes. The league has passed up Tomlin. Look at all the coaches from Tomlin's era. How many of them remain? Belichick is gone. Sean Payton is bouncing back after a year off, essentially. I know he coached last year, but he took the year before that off. He took a break. Jim Harbaugh just kicked the shit out of Mike Tomlin for the second time this season. Other than that, no one's left. Andy Reid, obviously, but that dude's in his own stratosphere. And you know what? Everyone says, everyone would harp on the opportunity to sign Mike Tomlin or trade for Mike Tomlin. Andy Reid was a good coach for Philly. Philly's a well-run organization. They let him go. You know what happened? Andy Reid got some Super Bowls. Philly got at least one and got to multiple. It was a win-win for both sides. Maybe it is time. I don't know. Let's talk about the game. I'm just so defeated. I have nothing. I said this on Instagram. I posted on my story. I don't drink, but this game had alcohol calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. Oh my God. If you're new here, I usually have more energy, but the Steelers have shown me that there's no reason for me to dispel energy on them, even though I'm sure by the end of this I'll be heated and hot and, but if you're new here, I kind of go quarter by quarter and I talk overall about the game. Here are my keys going into the game. There's the things I thought Pittsburgh, if they wanted to win, had to do. Derrick Henry. He has to have less than 100 rush yards. He had 100 by halftime. Pathetic. Pittsburgh needs to pass on at least 40% of the first downs because last game we played, we ran the ball on every single first down. I won't lie, at halftime I stopped counting, but out of our 6 first downs that we had the ball, whether it was because of change of possession or the 2 we got in the first half, we threw the ball on 5 of it. That's 80%. That's not 80%. That'd be 4 for 5. It's 85%. Ish. I stopped counting after the second half because I didn't give a fuck. So, hey, there you go. George Pickens needs 3 or more targets in the first quarter. He had 0. He got his first target in the second quarter, and that was his only target of the first half. Pat Freiermuth needs 5 or more targets in this game. He finished with 4. 3 for 15. He did have a drop on the first drive. Forced at least 3 punts. We actually did that. We forced 3 punts. 2 of them were in the second half. So that's awesome. I'm glad we finally been able to force punts, but it meant jack nor shit. If the offense stalls, switch to Fields. We'll talk about that. It didn't happen. And blitz Lamar. I think we did it twice. One of the times ended in a sack. The other time ended in, I think, like a 2-yard gain. And then we just stopped doing it. So good game plan, Pittsburgh. I can't wait to watch Hard Knocks to see what fucking bullshit the entire coaching staff was spewing all week. What bullshit the players were preparing for. What garbage they were wasting their time doing. Because that wasn't a prepared football team. I don't know what the fuck that was. First quarter. Oh, I do got to say, Amazon Vision, those of you that don't know, when you're watching on Amazon, you can switch the broadcast to where it's like you're playing Madden and you're behind the quarterback. So much better. It is so... I wish every single streaming service for the NFL, CBS, NBC, all of them, I wish they did it that way instead of the weird sideline where you can't even see the secondary. You can't see which players are open, sorry. It's so cool. And it really showed me, and the commentators talked about this, how bad Russell Wilson is at going through his progressions. Russell's like, George, check down, gotta run, and that's it. And no, I don't want to hear any defense. We'll talk about Russell. I want to hear defense. That is his progression. If your progression is deep out, check down, I need to escape, that's not a solid progression. Again, last time I played football was in middle school. Obviously, I study the game. But if I know that, I'd expect Russell Wilson and the Steelers to game plan better than that. Lamar ran the most I've ever seen against Pittsburgh. Granted, because Pittsburgh didn't blitz him how we normally do. I like how Pittsburgh was like, we're really, really good, like consistently. Almost every time we've played Lamar, he never runs on us. What if we just like switched up our defense against that? Great game plan. Soft zone, Jesus fucking Christ. The amount of times it'd be like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And I'm like, okay, here we have a chance. And we're playing 6 fucking yards off the fucking line of scrimmage. What the fuck are you guys doing? You know, again, if I'm a basic fucking Madden player and I see that the fucking defense is playing 6 yards off of me on a 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5, easy. Hot route. My wide receiver, I want you to run a fucking out. Both my wide receivers, out routes. Tight end or slot receiver, a curl route. Because you're giving me that exactly what the fucking Ravens did. Flea flicker. What the fuck was that? You can't do anything on offense. You can't get any production. No first downs. And you think a fucking flea flicker is your go-to? Maybe establish an offense before trying to be the Detroit Lions. Oh, and bench Sutton, for the love of God. Cam Sutton, you fucking piece of shit, garbage human being. If you don't know, Cam Sutton beat his girlfriend and dangled her off a 3rd-story balcony. He's a garbage can of a human being who shouldn't be in the fucking league. I'm embarrassed that the Pittsburgh Steelers team brought him to the organization, and he fucking sucks ass at football. Piece of shit human, almost as piece of shit at fucking football. I usually don't make that shit personal, but with the fucking garbage you did off the field, go fuck yourself. You shouldn't be on this team next season. No Lamar contain. That could be the story for the entire game. Ravens, this was insane. The Ravens had a 13-play drive where all 13 plays were runs, and it ended in a touchdown. Most expensive defensive football, you guys. Defensive-minded head coach. Defensive mentality. An organization built on the defense. Cool. What does the offense do down 14? We get the ball back. Down 14. What do? We get a pass interference and then punt the fucking ball away. And also, not to mention when it was 4th and inches. But we don't live in our fears, right, Mike Tomlin? Oh, wait, no, I forgot. That's exactly what we fucking do. That's all we do. We must have a house of fears because we're living in that shit. We bring in Justin Fields for a play. Not just a design run. No, this was actually a great design. It's an RPO with a pass option as opposed to just a regular read option with the running back and the quarterback. It's on 2nd down, too. We bring in Justin Fields. And then we take George Pickens off the field for that play? So you're bringing in a guy for a pass play, or could be pass play, and you're taking out our best receiving option. Okay. I'm glad to know that the coaching staff isn't fucking serious. I'm glad to know they don't take their job seriously because they're just setting everyone up for failure. Going into halftime or start Fields, or why the fuck not? We kept Russell in. Sorry, Andres. My friend just Snapchatted me. I'm just gonna do this live. There's nothing you can say that I haven't said 6 inches from the mirror or the camera. Okay, I didn't think we were gonna win. Congrats, Lamar's a god. Congrats. Yeah, they didn't bring in Fields. And I know a lot of people in hindsight are going to be like, oh, well, eat your words. Russell threw for 2 touchdowns. We're going to talk about Russell. But what the fuck? Why didn't Pittsburgh bring in Fields? Remember when Pittsburgh traded for Fields? And after signing Russell Wilson. So this wasn't like a Fields and then Russell, so they went with Russell. No. They got Russell, and they were like, let's also add Fields. And then we went 4-2, and the offense looked really good. And we brought in Russell, obviously, because he was named the starter. And I think this is a fair thing that they did. They gave him a shot. And you know what? He ended the season. Started it great. Ended it shit. And you know what? If I was a coaching staff, I'd say, all right, Russ, you're not on contract next year. We don't owe you anything. You have one half. Let's see what it looks like. And it looks like that. Why not? You don't know what you're doing at quarterback next year. You don't have a high enough draft pick. There's not a good free agent option out there. Why not just start the dude you fucking traded capital for to just see what he can do? Because isn't it kind of crazy that you're playing against a team with a dual threat quarterback and they're fucking destroying you? Wouldn't it be interesting to then incorporate that into your offense? But no, we're stubborn. And we know best because we're full of ourselves. We have the biggest egos in the entire league because we switched, or should I say I, Mike Tomlin, switched to Russell Wilson. And I know best. I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong. I'll say that if something is on me, but it's never my fault. I'm never wrong. Jaylen Warren carries the ball way better than Najee Harris does. But I'll never name him the RB1 because I named Najee the RB1, and I'm never wrong. We traded for Mike Williams, and we have had no production from the wide receiver depth. Major respect to Calvin Austin there because he actually did have a pretty good season. We haven't had consistent production. But we're just going to keep working in Mike Williams, who had one catch today. But we're just going to keep working in because I said so. And I'm never wrong. Connor Hayward keeps doing the fucking stupidest shit, whether it be penalties or self-inflicted wounds. But he's still going to get snaps because I'm never wrong. Going back to the quarter recaps. Do the Steelers teach tackling? Because they showed a stat at the end of the game. This was in the entire season, a season with a run defense like the Cowboys. Or a defense like the Panthers had for the first 5 games. Or any of the other bottom 5 defenses throughout the beginning, middle, and entirety of the season. Pittsburgh Steelers, most expensive defense in the NFL, were the only one, not the only one, they had the most yards given up after contact. You know, the defense, there's not that many people on it, probably. Just all-pro Cam Hayward. That's it, though. Oh, Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. So I guess those two. Minka Fitzpatrick, all-pro, and multi-Pro Bowler and multi-All-Pro member. But that's, they just recently acquired Patrick Queen. But that's not, essentially first rounder because it was the 32nd overall pick, Joey Porter Jr. But that's probably, coming alive and extended for the future, Alex Highsmith. But I digress. That's probably. I also newly acquired and probably biggest heart on our defense, Deshaun Elliott. But yeah, most yards after contact in a game this season. Fourth quarter, it's 4th down for the Ravens. 4th and 1. You know they're probably going to tush push it because it's worked for them all game. But then you get a 12 men on the field, and you couldn't even substitute properly. So they picked it up. The Ravens got 2 wins. They picked it up and then also got the flag because Pittsburgh's ineptitude and lack of preparation led to that. Cool, guys. And then at one point, for like the final time Pittsburgh had the ball, we're lining up in 5 wide or 4 receivers and or 3 receivers, 1 tight end and 1 running back. But anyways, we were lined up in spread, and there was never Pat Freiermuth out there. Connor Hayward was on the field. Why would you extend Pat Freiermuth if you're not gonna, give him opportunities to succeed? I don't understand this team. I wanted to look at what the Ravens were on 3rd down. And Sleeper doesn't do that. So let's see. Does Google do that? Because what are we doing? ESPN, really? You took me to the game from earlier in the season? You took me to a game from last year? What's happening right now? Okay. Jesus, ESPN just threw me through a fucking whirlwind here. Okay, team stats. Oh my God. The Ravens were 10 for 15. Just to put that in perspective, the Ravens had almost more conversions on third down than Pittsburgh had third downs. We had 11 third downs. So fucking stupid. Ravens had 72 total plays and more than double Pittsburgh's yardage. Oh my God. 299 rushing yards. 6 yards per rush. Oh my God. Time of possession, they had the ball for almost 40 minutes. We had it for 20. That's insane. So yeah, Pittsburgh, there's the third down. Pathetic run D. If you watch the game, you know that exists. Oh yeah. Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach. Mike Tomlin, all the coordinators, they don't get essentially a pass. But the coordinators have a lot of the heat taken off of them because the Steeler fandom has realized we are now 8 years later, 7 quarterbacks later, or however many it is, 3 OCs later, 3 DCs later, and the offense and the defense look exactly the fucking same. So it's almost like there's one common denominator here. It's Mike Tomlin. This is his defense. This is his calling card. Got fucking embarrassed for the 5th time in a row in the playoffs. But he's a defensive-minded coach, and he gets swept up right away, you guys, if he was a free agent. I can't wait to fucking hear all the talking heads defend Mike Tomlin somehow. That's going to be crazy. When people go, maybe Pittsburgh should trade or let him go elsewhere. People go, that's crazy. He's going to get swept up in a second. Just because you'll get swept up in a second doesn't mean you're the fucking best coach in the league. He's a fine coach. I think it's fair to say he's getting to like average, maybe even slightly below average with how he's performing. James made a great point when he came on the podcast a couple months ago. And he said, Mike Tomlin has done well with shit rosters, and I agree with that. But he's also done shit with great rosters. It's the same floor. How do you go 10-7 with Duck Hodges or 9-8 or whatever the fuck we were, but then you go 10-7 with like a Big Ben team or this team, which is significantly better than a Duck Hodges team? It's so tiring. Pittsburgh's also been outscored 73-0 in the first quarter of our last playoff games. 5 or 6, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, now let's talk. League has passed Tomlin by. Talked about that. I said, isn't it cool what having a mobile quarterback can do? And referring to like Lamar and like Pittsburgh has one, but we won't use him. I have to save it for the retrospective. It's fine. I'm not also saying that like I know what Pittsburgh should do. I'm still doing my research on it, but most expensive defense. Yep. Oh yeah. During the week leading up to this, Arthur Smith was asked about the offense. He said, we're going to burn the boats. We're going to do anything and everything we can. We're going to try everything that we've prepped. You know, we're going to throw it all out there. Looked exactly the same. Only difference is we actually threw the ball on first down. So either those are really small boats that you burned, or you guys forgot to light the flames because nothing happened. Okay, now, is there anything or there's no individual player on the defense that I want to talk about because they all fucking sucked. Even TJ had a bad game. I don't think TJ recorded a stat. TJ has been actually pretty bad for the last couple of weeks. Now he got held a lot, but what are you going to do? The best edge rushers, TJ, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, they all get held. Aiden Hutchinson, they all get held. You just got to work around it. There's no one on the defense in specific that I want to. I mean, Cam Sutton can fucking suck a dick and lose his job for all I give a fuck. But yeah, there's no one else on defense. Yeah. And on the offense, I mean, at least George got his. Pat Freiermuth had 3 catches for 15 yards. Van Jefferson had a touchdown. Shout out Van. Happy for him. Mike Williams got 2 targets. Was never on the fucking field, though. Yeah. Okay, let's talk Russ for a second. Oh, before we do, the running game, by the way, we had a total of 11 carries, and 3 of those were by Russ. So we had a total of 8 run plays. Najee went 6 for 17. Jalen went 2 for 6. And then Russ went 3 for 6. Connor, why would you... Pittsburgh clearly shouldn't have gone to Justin because we were able to get within 2... these are words I'm about to actually say. We were able to get within 2 touchdowns with Russell. I'm not going to give too much credit to a quarterback who was able to... Sorry, I'm checking to make sure my computer's still plugged in. I'm not going to give too much credit to a quarterback that was able to score on a team that was playing prevent defense because they were up by 3 touchdowns. Also, he threw the ball in the middle field like twice. There's nothing... Okay, cool. Hey, Connor, he was the passing leader for the day. He only had 9 incompletions. He didn't turn the ball over. No, he took 4 sacks and lost 19 yards off of those sacks, though. Russell's inability to recognize that he is not 26 anymore and he is about to be 37 years old has been one of the biggest issues for Pittsburgh this year. He sacked himself multiple times. The shit offensive line, primarily because of Pat Meyer, who should lose his job. Again, I'm sure he's a good person. If you're shit at your job, there are consequences. Pat Meyer's been shit at his job. But with an offensive line looking how it does, Russ was never the best option for this offense because he sacks himself. Oh, Connor, Russ put up 37 points against the Jets. The Jets. Connor, he put up 26 points against the Giants. The Giants. You put up 27 against the Commanders. The week they acquired Marshawn Lattimore, which is when their defense started to turn around. And Marshawn didn't even play in that game. Do you hear yourself? Okay. Yeah, he did throw great moon balls. Great deep ball. How many times did he sack himself? Because he holds on the ball for too long. He doesn't go through his progressions correctly, primarily. Russ did not lose us this playoff game, but he sure as hell did not put us in a situation to win it. Because guess what? We started with the ball. And now it's not Russ's fault that we abandoned the run game. But when you're the quarterback of the football team and you're a veteran, at least the last couple of seasons we had, well, he's a rookie. He's in his second year with, like, Kenny. Oh, he doesn't get that much playing time with, like, Mason. You had those excuses you could lean on. This is a veteran. He's been there, done that. Don't have him anymore. And this, again, comes back to Tomlin as well. Because even with this veteran, the offense looks the same fucking thing. Moon ball or check down. Pittsburgh really was like, all we do is either throw it deep or throw a check down and never use the middle of the field. Let's get the quarterback that's going to do that rather than maybe getting a quarterback that'll change that culture. No, we were like, we'll stick with the quarterback that'll do that. Fans roasting Steelers. Yeah, we deserve it. It was 6 straight losses in the playoffs. Thanks, dude. I love you. I love you too. I can't believe I'm about to say this. It will be fun to watch you guys in the Super Bowl. I'm so beaten down, man. The worst part is I fucking called this shit when we lost to the Browns. I said our defense is overrated. I got fucking swarmed for it. I said, don't be surprised if we finish this season with 10 wins. I got fucking swarmed for it. I said this team is not going to win a playoff game. I got fucking swarmed for it. Man. It's the same shit every year. And I already know. And you know what? Everyone's going to say, well, this is a win for the Steelers. 2 new quarterbacks, new coordinator, new system, and we were able to win 10 games to get to the playoffs. It's not a win. Because you're telling me with a new coordinator, which should be a step up for Matt Canada, with a new quarterback room, which is a step up from Kenny Pickett, the combination of Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell Trubisky. That alone. And then you also acquire a new middle linebacker in Patrick Queen and a phenomenal safety in Deshaun Elliott. Those alone should account for 2 to maybe 3 more wins on a season. 2 is fair. 12 wins. We finished with the same fucking record under the strength of schedule. It doesn't matter. I'm so sick of hearing, oh, Pittsburgh had to play 4 of the best teams in that stretch. Who the fuck cares? The Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs also had to play 3 games in 11 days. I don't hear their fucking fan bases complaining about it. They owned it. They took it on the chin. Pittsburgh was the only franchise that actually looked sorry. The Texans looked sorry on Christmas, but not throughout the entire span. The excuses from the Steelers organization, players, and fans isn't warranted. It is coping. We are not a good franchise. As of right now. We're not a good team. Sorry. We're not a good roster. We're not a good football team. We have the pieces there. But it's not working. I'm going to work on my retrospective video. Deep dive this season. We're going to talk everything: offense, defense, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, coaching, kicking. Everything. I'll talk about it. So keep your eyes open for that video. But I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired. So curious your guys' thoughts. Steelers fan, not Steelers fan. It's going to be a long off season. You guys know how we end these.